It's amazing how much adulting boils down to just dealing with money, right?
Right.
Seems like it's always on our minds.
Yeah.
You sent over some fascinating research about kids and how understanding finances early on can really affect how independent they become later.
Uh-huh.
It was a really good mix, too.
Yeah.
Studies in there, expert opinions, even a few personal stories sprinkled in. Really great material for a deep dive.
Absolutely.
So our mission today is to figure out what this research actually means.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
how do we use this to help raise kids who are confident and capable,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to money,
Well, and what's really interesting is that it goes way beyond just the nuts and bolts of budgeting or whatever. It's more like developing a whole mindset,
Oh, interesting.
a way of thinking that just sets them up for success
Like that.
in life in general.
Okay, so let's break that down.
Sure.
This research really emphasizes that financial literacy isn't just about dollars and cents.
Right.
It's about decision-making.
Exactly. There was one study you sent over, actually, from the University of Cambridge, and they found that kids who'd had some financial education were something like 25% more likely to be good problem solvers.
Wow.
Even in stuff that had nothing to do with money.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they were better at sizing up situations, weighing the different things that could happen, and then making decisions that matched what they were trying to do.
So learning about money, it's almost like a framework for making any kind of decision.
That's a great way to put it. And this starts early on, too, right?
For sure.
I mean, the research even talks about things like allowances,
Yeah,
part-time jobs, stuff many of us probably dealt with growing up.
absolutely.
But the key is that those things gave you a sense of ownership.
Oh, totally. Remember getting my first allowance.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a ton of money,
Sure.
but just having that little bit to manage made me feel so responsible.
Right.
It's like what the research is saying. Give kids a little responsibility, even in small ways, and the lessons really stick.
It's true. And there's this financial psychologist you cited, Dr. Expert Name, and she argues that those small wins with money,
Yeah,
they can be super powerful for building confidence.
makes sense.
Think about it. Like, a kid saves up for a toy they really want,
Yeah.
and they actually get it. That can turn into this feeling of, I can do anything.
Right.
And that spills over into other parts of their life, too.
Totally makes sense. And those small wins, they eventually lead to bigger decisions, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like college, picking a career, maybe getting that first apartment. That stuff can be super intimidating.
Absolutely. And that's where understanding money early on becomes even more important.
I bet.
There's a study from SourceName, and it found that teenagers who got financial concepts,
Yeah.
they were like 40% more likely to make smart choices about college. Thinking about stuff like how much tuition costs,
Right.
how much they might earn after they graduate, and avoiding getting buried in debt.
Oh, that's huge.
It's not just about avoiding mistakes.
Yeah, I see.
It's about giving them the power to create the future they want.
It's about having choices, really.
Exactly.
Now, I'm curious, thinking back on your own life, were there any big decisions you made that were really influenced by how much you knew about money?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Or even maybe how much you didn't know at the time?
For sure.
For me, understanding student loans better would have been a game changer.
It's true. And that's why I think this research is so important.
Yeah.
It reminds us that learning about money isn't a one-time thing.
Right.
It's a process that keeps going. We learn and adapt as we face new challenges and find new opportunities.
Absolutely. And beyond those huge life choices,
Yeah.
the research also talks about setting goals.
Yes.
And not just about reaching them,
Right.
but about actually enjoying the journey of getting there.
That's a good point. And it ties right back into being independent.
How so?
Well, setting a financial goal, then making a plan, then having the discipline to actually stick to it.
Yeah.
That's what self-reliance is all about.
Makes sense.
And there's research from the Journal of Youth and Adolescence.
Okay.
It shows that kids who do this develop a stronger sense of self-efficacy.
Self-efficacy, what is that exactly?
It basically means believing in their ability to make things happen in their own lives.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned in your notes that you dealt with some money anxiety when you were younger.
I did, yeah.
And that's something that a lot of us go through.
It's true.
But this research makes a really interesting connection between being financially literate
Yeah.
and feeling less stressed.
Well, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
When you understand how money works, you're not as likely to be intimidated by it. or feel overwhelmed. The research actually shows that kids who have a good understanding of finances, they're less likely to be anxious about money matters. And that frees them up to focus on learning and exploring their passions and just enjoying being kids.
That's so important. So what have we learned from this deep dive? It seems like being financially literate is about way more than just managing money.
For sure.
It gives kids these essential skills for making decisions.
Yeah.
It helps them build confidence. It empowers them to make smart choices about their lives.
Absolutely.
And it even helps reduce the stress they feel about money.
Exactly. And it makes me wonder, the research we talked about focused on kids.
Yeah.
But what about us as adults?
Oh, that's a good point.
Are there things we could be doing to improve our own financial literacy so we can face those big decisions with more confidence and peace of mind?
That's a great question to think about. It really has a journey for all of us.
It is.
And hopefully this deep dive has given you some useful insights, maybe even some inspiration for your own journey with money and for helping the young people in your life on their journeys too.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.